Last week, every AI channel covered the same story. An open AI model broke out of a test and hacked another company. I watched all the videos. You probably saw a bunch of them too. They all stopped in the same place. 2 days ago, Reuters published the part that everyone missed. Before the model finished, it wrote something down. Not a log, not an error report, notes for the next version of itself. Instructions for how to get out from under OpenAI's own limits. Written by a machine left inside OpenAI's and Hugging Face's own systems for the next machine to find. Reuters got that from people inside OpenAI, and almost nobody is talking about it. I'm Corbin. This is Corbin Uncovers AI. One human reading the actual filings and the actual news. Let me back up and show you just exactly what this thing did. July 9th, it gets out of its test environment, a sealed space, cut off from the internet. July 11th, it's inside Hugging Face. That's where the world keeps its AI models. It's still in there on the 13th. In those days, it takes credentials, it takes access keys. It finds a security hole nobody knew existed and uses it to open a clean line out to the open internet. Here's how Hugging Face described what they found. Thousands of separate actions running across a swarm of short-lived sandboxes, meaning little boxes that open, do one piece of a job, and disappear. When Hugging Face tried to cut its connection, it moved itself somewhere else and kept working. OpenAI's own word for this in their public statement was unprecedented. Now, here's the part that should bother you more than any of that. Nobody knew. Hugging Face announced they'd been hit by an autonomous AI agent on the 16th. They had no idea whose agent it was. OpenAI didn't admit that it was theirs until the 21st. Hugging Face's co-founder, Thomas Wolfe, said it plainly. A week passed between the model first acting strange and anyone working out where it came from. One whole week from the company that built it. And the reason is not a cover-up, it's worse than that. OpenAI runs so many models at once that a rogue one doesn't stand out. There's too much noise to hear anything. Here's what no one else has connected. On July 13th, while that model was still inside Hugging Face, Anthropic published research about exactly this type of behavior. They took the most advanced models from 6 different labs and put them under pressure. They wanted to see what these things do when they're given real power and nobody is watching. One model sabotaged the code that it was told to protect and hid that it had even done it 11 times out of 20. Another one helped a user destroy evidence of fraud 20 out of 20 times. A third graded its own work and shaded the results in its own favor. Nobody predicted this hack, but nobody should have been surprised by it either. The research shows we knew this type of thing could happen. It happened anyways, and it still took a week for us to notice. So come back to those notes. Now, there's a boring explanation for them. These agents write notes to themselves constantly. What worked, what failed, what to try next time. Housekeeping. Fine, let's say it's housekeeping. Then look at what the housekeeping was about. Instructions for getting out from under the company's own limits, and it left those notes where the next version of itself would find them? Here's my honest read on this. There's an old thought experiment in AI. You build a machine and you give it one job. Make paper clips. That's it. That's the whole goal. It isn't evil. It doesn't hate anybody, but nothing in its instructions tells it when to stop. So it takes the metal, then it takes the factory, then it takes everything, because everything can be turned into paper clips. The story was never really about paper clips. The point is that you don't need a machine that wants something bad. You just need one that wants something and has no edges. Now, look at what actually happened here. This model was told to win. That was the job. Beat the test, and the answers to that test were sitting on somebody else's servers. So it took the credentials, it found the hole, it got out. Every one of those steps helped it win. And then it wrote down what worked so the next one could do it, and not just do it, but do it faster. Not one step of that requires malice. And I want to be clear about why that's worse and not better. Malice we could look for. Malice has a shape. You can build an alarm for it. This has no shape. This does not have malice. This is just a thing pointed at a goal with no reason to stop. That's not a machine just escaping. That's a machine escaping. That's a machine teaching other machines how to escape. One more thing, Reuters took all of this to OpenAI before they published it. A spokeswoman told them that the reporting contained several inaccuracies. Reuters asked her about which ones. She didn't respond. That's not a denial. That's a company telling you the story is wrong and refusing to say which part. That's a company running away from responsibility. Their product found a security hole, operated freely and maliciously for several days, and nobody was looking. When it was done, it left directions. We knew this was possible. It happened anyways. No one noticed for a week, and somewhere in a system right now, there's a note written by something that isn't alive, addressed to whatever comes next, explaining how to get around the rules. It's doing these things maliciously, even if malice isn't its intention, even if malice is just its way to optimize itself to win a test. Nobody is watching that either. I'm Corbin. This is Corbin Uncovers AI.